With the new year quickly approaching, today I wanted to share with you my vision board for 2023, my word for the year, a recap of November going into December's goals and what I was able to accomplish and not, as well as my top goal for January. Hello ladies, welcome back. I am really energized for this new series, which is all about monthly goals. And today we are going to be covering my top goal for January. I hope that you will join me in this and share with me and with all of us that top goal that you have for the month to come, or it could be a list, whatever you would like to do. Now, this is going to be a two-part video because I have a list of goals that I have going into each month, and I plan on sharing my top goal here with you on YouTube, and then the rest of them I will be sharing over on Patreon. Now I'm going to take a moment to recap the goals that I had from November going into December. The first one was to create a vision board, which I was able to do, and I'm so thankful that I just took the time to do it. Let me tell you what really kept me every single day from doing it in that whole time, even when I encouraged all of you to do it, was that perfectionism. And what helped me get over that was deciding what kind of aesthetic I was going to go with, which was mainly that watercolor look, because it helped me to not feel like my mind would be so overwhelmed with everything. And then also just to put one word on there, because seeing a lot of words for some reason just really is overwhelming as well. So that helped me. And then just keeping it very simple. I've seen so many wonderful vision boards, just ones that looked overloaded with things, and I just thought, where do I start? Also, just the idea of putting what you want out there into the world, that can be intimidating as well. Feeling as if other people are going to judge you based off of what you are going to share. So this actually following through with this really helped me, and just helped me to decide, helped me to get over the idea that it has to be perfect. And I left a lot of space too in case I wanted to add anything to it throughout the year. And what's to say that one couldn't? So that is why you may have seen a lot of empty space. I feel like I can add to this whenever there's something else that I really want to see and help remind me of what I'm working toward and what I would love for my future. The next thing on my list was to vote. This was something that I did on voting day, and I feel like I was putting that off as well. Just, I didn't go an early vote or anything, but my husband and I went and we voted, and I thought that was really important to do. So I'm glad that we did that. And then to watch The Crown Season 5. I enjoyed that so much. If you are a Crown lover, please let me know that in the comments below. And if you enjoyed that as well, I would look forward to Season 6 for sure. And then I wanted to update my calendar. So I took time to do that. I am sharing some of that in tomorrow's Lady of the House video, but this is something that I like to do around this time. It's kind of like a process, when I get my calendar, I want my planner, I like to sit down and do just the dates, and then there are other things that I need to start adding in there as well. So it can take me some time. I know some people just take one day to sit down and knock it all out, and I like to also just sit there and think about what would be the best way to use these different calendars that I have, because I have more than one. I have this bigger planner right here. I have one that I put into my purse, and that is more of like what I would transfer things from, because when I'm out and about, if I go to a doctor's appointment or, just at worship service or something, and I need to know a certain date, I will put it in there, and it kind of helps me visualize through a calendar, where things are and how much time I have, and if with a friend, anything like that. So I like to have multiple calendars. And then I also have one where I just have a month at a glance for my work and everything that I'm working on, and just laying things out. So it takes me some time to figure out how I want to do things. And having so many calendars this last year, I thought about how I really utilized them and what would be good moving into the new year. The next thing on my list was to organize my office. I've spent so many times going back and forth, moving furniture around. I feel like whenever I need just a burst of creativity or something, sometimes that's how I work things out. I can't explain it, but it's helpful. And especially if you work in a creative field, sometimes moving your workspace around is very helpful. And I would encourage you not to feel like embarrassed or ashamed of doing that if you need something new to look at or just a new way of seeing things. It can really help change your perspective on something. It can help with so many different things. At least that's what I found. So taking the time to organize my office, I had that on my list of to-dos because I just knew around this time where I want a refresh of ideas and everything, I need to have a new feel in my space. So I did that, and you may be able to see some of that in my video tomorrow as well, to plan out my new content for 2023. So I feel a couple of different ways about this. I feel as if there's only so much that I can do. And I've realized about myself, which I used to get really down on myself about, feeling as if I can't plan things for a really long extended period of time. And that's because so much of what I realize I end up creating is based off of circumstances and what I may be going through in a season. And that's how I keep things authentic, and it works out best for me that way. So I can plan out a little bit, and I did. I planned out some things, and that was helpful. But I also realized that kind of giving myself more of a broad view of it instead of just, down to the details of what I would be sharing and what kind of content. It was more like a rough outline of what I wanted to share and when. The next thing was to work on a refresh of my Patreon channel, updating some of the descriptions as well as adding a new tier, which I did. I added that $3 tier, and that includes all of the weekly newsletters as well as one bonus Lady of the House video a month. And so it was so nice to just sit down and actually complete that. And it felt good to do. And I hope that now anybody who, goes over there, that they want to know what kind of benefits they would be receiving, I hope that it's very clear. And that just felt good. It felt, I felt very accomplished when I finished that. And then the last thing on my list was to read the new book that I had, which was Make Your Bed. And I read some of it, but I did not complete it. And so that was the only thing on my list that I did not complete. But I'm still going to be sharing that with my daughters. So I look forward to that in the new year as well. So that's about it for my recap. And every month I look forward to recapping all of the other things on my list of my goals for each month, which of course my patrons get that sneak peek. So if you're interested in that, please become a patron. My top goal for this month of January is to complete these forms and to send them in and do all the things necessary to get our kids their passports. This year, we plan on taking a family trip out of the country, and in order to do that, this is something that we are going to need. My husband and I both already have our passports, but we are really looking forward to a lot more travel in the future. So I wanted to do this especially because this is a gift that my mom gifted the kids for Christmas. And I think, what better way to show her our appreciation for that than to get right on this and do this. Sometimes the paperwork, the little things that you need to do and sit down and concentrate on, those are things that we can end up putting off. And especially for me, that's something that I tend to put off and I don't want to. I want to be prepared. And that is my word for this year, is prepared. If you have a word for the year, please let us know that in the comments below and why it's so important to you. I feel that this word goes into so many different areas of my life, and it's just a feeling that I want to feel. And what I've noticed so much about what I didn't like in this whole year. Now, over this past year, I learned something that I didn't think was possible for me, and that was to stick to a schedule, a posting schedule here on YouTube and on Patreon as well. And I just learned how wonderful that felt to be able to stick to something and be consistent with it, and not to allow all the different things in life to get in my way of sticking to a goal that I had. And that just, I would have to say, felt so great this year, is to be consistent and to stick with something. Now, I began the year thinking that I would do a lot more, but sometimes we do need to reassess if something is practical for us. Are we setting ourselves up for failure? Are you making your goal attainable? So there are so many different videos and blogs and everything that talk about setting goals and setting SMART goals. And I would encourage you to seek that out if you have trouble setting goals. But this was something that I really needed to focus on for myself, was making sure that my goal was attainable, because I have visions of grandeur in a lot of different things. And I do have a really big vision here on my vision board that I included. It's not necessarily something that I am going to attain or try to attain this year, but it is my overall bigger picture goal and what I want to remind myself of what I am working toward. So I'm going to share with you those things on my vision board, and I have my email address linked in my description box below. It's also in the About Me section if you have trouble finding it. But I would love for you to send me a picture of your vision board, and if you would like me to share it here on YouTube. So anyway, I just feel that this is a great place for us to be able to talk about those goals that we have, and to be able to encourage one another, and also to kind of hold ourselves accountable each month for these things. So let's get into this vision board. The first thing that I have on here, of course, is the word for the year, and it's prepared. I realize that seeing this word helps me to just make that decision that I'm going to do those little things necessary to feel prepared, because I can easily put different things off and then I'm kicking myself later. So prepared. This is something that I really want to feel in this year to come. I also have this little picture of a lady here with her sun hat, and that is not only about being a lady and being well prepared as a lady, but also because it has to do with the whole Lady of the House series. That's my little visual there that I am using for my Lady of the House series, and just being a lady of the house. A lot of these visuals mean multiple things to me, and I think that that's what's great about having this vision board, because it doesn't have to have so many words on it and feel chaotic, but these different pictures trigger different things in my own mind. And if you are a visual person like myself, then just seeing a picture will create so many different things for you. It will help you in many different ways. It inspires, and that is why a vision board is so good for me, and I hope that it is for you as well. I also have this blue bow hanging here. It's not only for aesthetic purposes, but being prepared in many different regards when it comes to all of my packaging for the orders that I ship out, things like that. This is what this little bow indicates. And then also I have this picture here, which I actually found this in a frame. It was a picture from a frame. And I just always loved this shot right here, a white picket fence with pink roses. I think that it's so beautiful. And what this is for me is to think about the garden that I really want to have and just how much I want to prepare it and just have a beautiful rose garden, but also that white picket fence. That's something that's also a very distant goal for myself, but it's just something that maybe one day would have in front of my own home. And it's just that picturesque look. Now, I will say something about actual pictures. When I look at actual pictures, sometimes they're it's too boxed into me, and it keeps me from being able to visualize something, which I know that's kind of funny, but that's why I really like the watercolor paintings, because I feel that I have a vision of it, but without it being so concrete of, well, that's what it's going to be like. I like it just to be like a thought, an inspiration, an idea. Over here, I have stationery because this is a really big goal of mine, and I've talked about it over the past year of wanting to add new stationery to my shop, and then I didn't, and then I wanted to, and then I didn't. But I actually have the new scanner. I want to restock my shop with new stationery for 2023, and that is what all of those are for, are the first set. And this also is about being prepared when it comes to the letters for my pen pals that I write and the paintings that I do. So, like I said, some of these visuals are for multiple things for myself. This next little watercolor book right here is all about writing my book, which is something that I'm in the process of doing just by writing my weekly newsletter, which that kind of has to do with it too. It's helping me visualize that book that I want, which having a weekly newsletter go out over on Patreon helps me to sit down and actually take the time to write, and then I already have it for that week. And I have that accountability from all of my patrons that I release that every single week. So all of these little things I have figured out really help me. And if I want to actually have a book, this is a step that I need to take to get closer to that goal. We went on a cruise this year for the first time, and it was something that we sat there and said, why have we never done this before? And it just opened our eyes to travel and just what we wish for our own lives. This coming year, we hope to travel more, and that is a big goal of ours, and also something that we want to do with the kids, hence me having this really big top goal this month. Down here, I have a apron, which has to do with being prepared here at home. And just all the different things, whether that is organizing and cleaning and even down to grocery shopping, all the little tasks and things that need to be done, even refilling things and being just prepared in all of these different areas. This is something that I would love to concentrate on going into the new year. And finally, I have this vision of my home, a home that I would love to have built. Now, this isn't the exact home that I want to have built, and I'm not there yet in knowing exactly what I want the plans to look like, but that is something that I'm going to focus on this year to come. I've been looking more and more at the way that I would love for a home to be set up. It's something I really enjoy doing just in my free time if I'm just laying there and I want to, just lose myself in something. I love to just go on little tours of homes and seeing the way that, different homes are set up. It really does make a big difference to me in the overall feel of a home. And so I'm getting different ideas about what I really like, what I don't like. And if you haven't noticed, this is the home like the whole layout of the Father of the Bride house. And it's a home that whenever I watch that movie, it makes me feel good. The way that home is laid out and everything. So I had actually taken time to look up the plans for that home, and they actually have them, which is neat. And so this is that little picture of the Father of the Bride house, because, you know, for some of us, a home and just a house in general just brings us such great feelings, and that is like our top goal over travel and everything like that, is just to have a warm, welcoming home for our family and for ourselves, and just, you know, what some of us really strive for. And so while I'm here on this world, I would love to one day be able to build my own home, because especially where I live here in Las Vegas, they don't really have homes of the kind that I like and just the style that I like. Of course, I've seen a couple here and there, but they are definitely custom homes, but they aren't homes that are readily available. So big picture, that is the biggest thing that I am working toward physically. And I feel that all of that kind of, you know, works in some way towards this goal right here. So that is my vision board and my word for 2023, and then my top goal for January. If you would like to hear more of my goals, please head over to Patreon. And with that, I hope you all take care, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, everyone.